Today we're gonna make this ruffle pouch. To make your ruffle pouch you will need primary fabric. I'm using 100% cotton fabric. You will need 70 by 25 centimeters of that. You need contrast fabric for the frill. This will be 125 centimeters by 8 centimeters. Then pick your lining fabric. I'm using cream cotton. You need about 65 by 25 centimeters. You will need to prepare 10 centimeter square lightweight fusible interfacing. You will also need fusible fleece. This is 100-gram medium weight, and you will need 70 by 25 centimeters of that. You will need same amount of lightweight wadding. This one is 2-ounce wadding. And then prepare a zip 26 centimeters long. Let's make our pattern first. You will need to make rectangle shape that measures 30 by 21 centimeters. Now we're gonna curve two of the corners, which is gonna be our bottom of the bag. I'm using this cap just as a guide to make the curve. After cutting out your pattern, you can fold it in half and mirror the curve to the other side and cut it. After you've done that, your pattern should look like that. So two sides are curved and two are corners. Seam allowance for our bag is 1 centimeter all the way around. On each of the top corners I also marking a notch for the frill to start. It's 1.5 centimeter from the top. The measurements for our ruffle are 125 by 8 centimeters. The zip will measure 26 centimeters. You also will need two rectangle pieces that measure 7.5 centimeter by 3.5 centimeter. We're gonna use them for each side of the zip. From the main pattern we will cut 2 pieces of the primary fabric and 2 pieces of the lining. To stabilize my bag I will use fusible fleece. This is 100-gram medium weight fleece, and then we'll use 2-ounce wadding for padding. Now we're gonna cut around this pattern 2 pieces of primary fabric and 2 pieces of fleece, and we're gonna fuse them together. You need to cut it slightly larger than the pattern. I'm leaving around 1.5 centimeter border. fuse these fabrics together, you will need to place the wrong side of the fabric on top of the rougher side of the fleece. Hold the iron around 10 seconds on each section. And now it's time to cut the wadding. Place your fabric on top of the wadding and cut into the same shape. You need 2 pieces of that. Okay, let's go and quilt our fabric. You can pick the quilting style you wish. I'm following the lines on my fabrics. I'm gonna do horizontal and vertical lines. Now we are gonna cut the frill piece. It's one piece that measures 8 centimeters by 125 centimeter. I decided to do mine in contrast red color. Now we're gonna fold that piece in half and iron. Okay, let's go and start the fun part, which is sewing. Fold each side of that frill piece in half the other way, like I just did there, and stitch 0.5 centimeter from the edge. Now you can turn it to the right side. I'm using needle to poke the corners. To gather my frill, I'm gonna use this special gathering foot that I bought on Amazon, but you can also do this manually. The measurements for the frill after it's gathered will be 65 centimeter. Now it's time to cut out of your pieces. One of the quilting lines is gonna be the center of my bag. Lastly, I'm gonna make a notch for the bottom and the top of my center. Now you can go ahead and cut your lining to the same pattern. You need 2 pieces of lining. I never pin my frill down, but you can of course do that before you start sewing. Place your frill 1.5 centimeter away from the edge and stitch exactly on top of the gathering stitch. Now you finish your frill exactly 1.5 centimeter from the edge, the same way you started. This is my 2 pre-cut and fused pieces for the zip. I'm cutting my zip into 26 centimeter. Now fold the rectangle piece right sides together and sandwich the zip in and stitch 0.5 centimeter, just like that. To secure that zip in that seam, I will backstitch a couple of times. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now use the iron to flatten these seams. For the zip, I will use my narrow zipper foot. You can pin your zip down, starting from the center to the each side of the bag. You're placing it down so the zip teeth facing the right side of the fabric. Start sewing 1 centimeter from the edge and keep close to the zip teeth. Always backstitch when you start and finishing sewing. Now do the same on the other side. Okay, it's time to stitch on our lining. You can pin your lining securely before sewing, and we're gonna sew on the side of the wadding following the previous stitch, so exactly on top of that stitch. Now repeat that on the other side. You can iron that seams very gently. Make sure you don't flatten the wadding too hard. Now it's time to top stitch. I am edge stitching each side of that seam. So my top stitch is around 1 to 2 millimeters from the edge. Okay, the last step will be to close it all up. So you fold the primary fabrics right sides together, linings right sides together, then the little tabs that we made for the zip facing towards the lining, and pin it securely around. We will need to leave a 10 centimeter gap on the one side of the lining. So we're gonna stitch it around from one of the opening notch to the other side of the opening notch. The seam allowance for this stitch is gonna be slightly over 1 centimeter, just because we don't want to see the frill stitch after we turn the bag inside out. So to cover that stitch, we need to go slightly more than 1 centimeter. Take your time when you get closer to the zip, and as you're going over that zip, backstitch a couple of times to give it extra support. Pick the side with the frill stitch showing, because that can be a good guide for your seam to follow. It's time to turn your pouch inside out. Now we can close the opening by stitching it on the edge. After that, you just iron your pouch gently and it's all finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it was easy to follow. If you have any questions about the pattern or sewing, please leave me a comment and I will come back to you soon. Please give me a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like that. See you soon!